Hi, ministry leaders. We are continuing the conversation about how to differentiate your ministry with key donors during fourth quarter. We know it is a noisy time in the nonprofit development space, and we want to make sure that the message you're sending to donors is being received. We want you to be heard. And in order to be heard, you're going to need to differentiate yourself. So we've talked about 3 tips already. The first one was to make a personal connection with donors. The second was to give them context, help them understand how the pandemic is impacting your work. And number 3 was to make the case, make it very clear to donors what it is that you do and how you're solving the problem. The 4th tip I have for you is to really set yourself apart, to differentiate yourself by giving your donor the tool to expand their capacity to give. Once you have connected with them, once they understand the pandemic's impact, and you have made a clear case for the work that you do, now you can give them a tool by which they can be more generous. So why do you talk about expanding capacity? How do you talk about expanding capacity? Well, we're going to focus on one piece, and that is to talk about asset gifts. This is something most ministry leaders are not talking about, and it is a great service to your key major donors. Now, we know cash is easier, right? We're all comfortable asking for cash. But when we ask for cash, we're actually limiting what the donor is able to give. We want to talk about wealth because that's where the money is. 90% of Americans' wealth is actually in our assets outside of cash. But 80% of our giving happens from cash. Clearly, there is a disconnect, and we want to equip you to help connect those two better. People who feel wealthy will act more charitable. So you may simply just use wealth as a point of reference. Have your donors talk about some of their assets. Do they have an IRA? Do they have real estate? Ask about their business. This begins to shift their focus or their point of reference to their wealth. And you will find that even just bringing it up in conversation will actually increase giving, even if the gift still comes from cash. Russell James, a professor at Texas Tech who does a lot of studying and working in this philanthropic charitable giving space, he has done lots of research on this particular topic and really encourages nonprofit leaders just to begin the conversation, to change that reference point, and you will see an increase in giving. When you begin to share with donors that you can accept asset gifts, you will see growth and expansion in giving overall. So what assets are we talking about? Well, the first one, the easiest one, is stocks. We know that the stock market has recovered and that donors can leverage stocks as a more efficient way to give. They can save tax and give more. So encourage donors to consider giving stocks. Beyond stocks, I would encourage you to talk about real estate and business sales. If you have major donors who own a business, begin to talk to them about their succession plan, their giving plans, and do they have a plan for their business? If they give before the sale of their business, they can avoid some tax and be more generous. And then finally, there are some unique opportunities in 2020. The Secure Act and the CARES Act have provided donors with some unique giving opportunities, and above the line contribution, and then some changes with the IRA giving and beneficiaries. So make sure that you go to our website, take a look at our year-end opportunity handout, and share some of that information in your year-end communication with donors. Again, the objective here is to serve your donors well. Differentiate yourself. Talk about asset gifts. Go to our website. We've got all kinds of information on our resources page about giving assets to be more charitable. Send me an email or connect with me on LinkedIn, and let's begin the discussion of how you can differentiate your ministry by talking with your donors about asset giving.